in the center of the most abundant valley of southern Cyprus, at the western environs of Lemessus Limassol, is Kolossi Castle, one of the most significant monuments of medieval military architecture in Cyprus. This fertile valley at the mouth of the Kouris River was often mentioned by the medieval chroniclers for its expanse of sugar plantations, vineyards, olive groves, carob cereals and cotton plants, and during the Frankish period was one of the most important fiefs. The area was named Kolossi after its first feudal lord Garinus de Colossus. In 1210 the fief was transferred to the military order of St. John of Jerusalem by the Lusignan king Hugh I. It was then that the first castle was built, the ruins of which are preserved around the west and east side of the present structure. Having lost Acre in 1291, the Hospitallers transferred the base of their activities to Kolossi in 1301-2. In 1306 ownership of Kolossi passed to the order of the Knights Templar, which was in those days a very strong political power. The castle was returned to the Hospitallers in 1308, however, when Pope Clement V issued an edict abolishing the Knights Templar. In 1310 the command center of the Hospitallers was moved to the island of Rhodes, but the existing castle at Kolossi continued to be used as a seat of strong military power, known as the Commandery. This status was confirmed in 1380 by a decision of the leadership of the order. Despite this, however, the castle was used primarily as the residence and command center of the Grand Commander of the order rather than for the defense of the kingdom. It was from the castle that the large plantations in the valley of Kolossi and the wider area, in which 60 villages were included, were organized, controlled and exploited. One of the most important products of the area that the commandery traded was the traditional sweet wine of Cyprus, which was named accordingly Commandaria. A sequence of attacks by the Genoese in 1373 and the Mamelukes in the years 1402, 1413, 1425, 1426, as well as a successive series of catastrophic earthquakes. The castle ruins into in 1454 the Grand Commander of the Order, Louis de Magnac, built a stronger castle that can be seen today. The castle is stone-built with 3 stories, at a total height of 21 meters with wall thickness of 1.25 meters. The ground floor, including 2 underground water cisterns, was probably used for storage. Entrance to the first story was via a drawbridge. In one of the 2 largest rooms on the ground floor, a wall painting depicting the crucifixion is preserved on the south wall. In lower left corner of the same wall, one can see the coat of arms of Magnac with the fleur-de-lis. This is an indication that the room was probably used for worship, whereas the adjoining room with the fireplace may have been the main area for meals and entertaining. There are 2 other rooms on the second story that were used for accommodation that have 2 imposing fireplaces that bear on both sides the coat of arms of Louis de Magnac. On the terrace of the castle, one can see embrasures as well as a matriculation above the main entrance that would have been used by the knights to pour hot water on an enemy seeking to enter the castle. On the east external facade of the castle is a cross-shaped frame that encompasses a marble relief slab depicting the coat of arms of the Lusignan Kingdom of Cyprus as well as the coat of arms of Louis de Magnac and of 2 Grand Masters of the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, Jean de Lastic and Jacques de Milly. In the east yard is a large age-old tree, more than 150 years old, known as Macharium Tipu or Tipuana Tipu. In 1488 George Cornaro, brother of the last Lusignan Queen of Cyprus Caterina Cornaro, acting in the interests of the Venetians, convinced his sister renounce her sovereign rights to the island in favor of the Republic of Venice. He was then given as a reward the castle including the large property of the Grand Commandery Kolossi, which the Commandery of Rhodes still controlled, as well as the title of Grand Commander of Cyprus for himself and his descendants. The family continued to use the title in Pretence long after the Ottoman occupation of the island, and in 1799 it was granted to the Mozzanigo family, a member of which married the heiress of the Cornaro family. On the east side of the castle one can still see the aqueduct, a large vaulted room, which houses the refinery and the sugar mill, parts of a large sugar production and processing installation that dates to the period when the Order of Hospitallers received control of Kolossi. This installation, as well as the sugar mill located at Seragia in Episcopi, were later included in the network of financial activities of the Cornaro family in the surrounding area.
you